want my Instagram to be cute like the girls. I'm trying to be that girl, have that girl aesthetic. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up? I'm Rasha and welcome to my channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on your post notifications. Today we're going to be talking about how to build that cohesive Instagram experience and profile so that you can be that girl on Instagram. Let's get right on into it. So first things first, you want to make sure that you know what your brand is. So are you a fashion blogger? Are you a food page? What are you, and what does your brand feel? Do you want people to feel warm and cheerful? Do you want people to feel warm or moody? Do you want people to feel cool and cheerful? Like, what do you want people to feel? What does your brand want to give off when they are coming to your Instagram? So once you figure out what is your brand and what you want that to feel like, then you can start figuring out that aesthetic piece of it. So for instance, my brand colors are blue. So I went for a cool aesthetic to my pictures so that the blue in my pictures can always pop. When I take my pictures, I make sure that I have pieces of blue in it, whether it's the sky or my jeans or something, because I want the blue to always stand out. That's my brand colors, and that's what I want people to recognize the Erica Rasha brand as. You know Erica for the blues, you know Erica for that cool, cheerful, because I'm always smiling. I'm not giving y'all the sexy. I'm always happy, smiling in my picture. I want you to feel comfortable when you land on my profile. So you have to figure out what that looks like for you. A great place to find presets and things to fit that aesthetic build, it's Etsy. They have some for not that much. I know it's a little harder for people of color, so you'll have to buy a preset and then tweak it and make it yours, which is what I do. However, they're there, and that's a great way to get started with not a lot of money of building that aesthetic and using apps like Lightroom and Visco, Snapseed, and things to create that. And a lot of those apps have a free version or they're completely free. So again, it's a great way to get that aesthetic and play around with different aesthetics. You might think, hey, I want cool, but then play with like a warm aesthetic. Like, wait, I really like this. Like, this looks great on my skin. I'm snapping. So definitely try that. Figure out what aesthetic comes to mind when you think of your brand. Okay, I might have jumped a little far ahead and went with the aesthetic piece, but you also want to make sure that you are recognizing your colors. So like I said, my colors are blue, but blue is not for everybody. What are your colors? Is it black and white? Is it pink and purple? I have a video about color psychology, which I'll link in the cards above. So make sure you check that out there if you need help figuring out what colors best speak to your brand or speak to your audience. However, you want to figure out what colors work for you. There's a website, I think it's like colors.io. I'll put it across the screen. You can use that and help figure out what colors work well together for your brands. Are you going to do like an all nudes theme? Are you going to do like pastels? Pastels are cute, okay? They get me every time. But you want to figure out what colors work well and speak to your branding, and you want to make sure that those are consistent throughout your profile. So that's on your highlights, within your actual feed, your reels covers, your profile picture. You want to make sure that your colors are speaking throughout. So earlier you heard me talk about most of my pictures because I want you to come and I want you to feel happy and comfortable. I'm always smiling and things like that in my pictures. That's so important, and I think that people forget this. So again, it comes back to, what does your brand say? You want to make sure that all your images are looking the same, and that's whether you're using actual physical pictures or even if you're using like clip art and illustrations. You want to make sure that they all have the same vibe, the same piece to it, because that's what brings that aesthetic. That's what creates that that je ne sais quoi about your profile. So you want to make sure that you are using similar images. And I'm not saying that means, oh, I'm only taking pictures in white shirts, but I'm doing different poses that complement each other. And a great way to make sure that you are getting that look is using an app like Preview, so that you can actually plan your feed and see like, oh, I'm smiling really hard here, so maybe I'm gonna do like just a cute little smile or a smize in the next photo, and then I'll go to another big cheese or whatever. Like, you want to make sure that all your images are coordinating together. I think that a lot of people forget about this visual aspect, and this is what can kind of like make or break a profile or make it go from like, oh, that's cute, to oh my goodness, is simply worrying about your fonts and the different fonts that you use on your profile, especially if you're going to have like quotes and things on that first image photo that is like right there. When I look at your profile as a whole and I see different fonts or whatever, although like they might match with like color wise, I'm like, oh, this is nice. But when I see see that the fonts and things match as well, I'm like, oh, this is nice. Like, this is it. Making sure that you're picking out fonts that speak to you, speak to your brand, but also that it can be consistent and consistently used. On my website, I use several different fonts. I like to use Monostat, I like to use Tenor Sans, Artifact. They're different fonts. Like, in a place to get good fonts, you can download them for free from thefont.com, Creative Market, Etsy. There's different places, and fonts are usually inexpensive, and there's something that can work with your brand for the long run. I have paid for fonts before. Sometimes you just get something that's more in tune and not everybody's gonna use when you actually purchase a font. So that might be something that you're interested in. It definitely worked for me. And another thing that gives you that girl profile, that aesthetic, is making sure that your branding is not only visual but also obvious. So what I mean by that, it's something that resonates with either yourself or your audience. So for instance, my brand is Erica Rasha. That's my name. However, I could also go and change my name or something to Small Creator Guide or whatever. Like, it would be more catchy than that, trust me. But you want to make sure that your profile is explicitly stating who you are and what you do. That's coming from your Instagram handle to your name that's on your profile to your bio. You want to make sure that it's very clear and obvious what it is that you do. You don't want to just have that girl in your bio. What girl are you? There's so many that girls. Are you the luxury fashion for less girl? Are you the that girl mom edition? Like, what are you? You want to make sure that it's very clear and very obvious who you are trying to be, because sometimes you can have the most beautiful pictures, but it will not do it if we do not understand exactly why we are here. And that also comes within your captions as well. It's cute and all having a Drake quote and whatever as your caption, but you want to make sure that you're adding some form of value to sprinkle that purpose of what your actual account is, so that we can resonate and understand what's going on. That's what makes you have the full total package. So that's it. Make sure you drop your Instagrams down below so that we can check it out and see if you are really that girl, if you really have that aesthetic going on. Let me know if you have any questions, and make sure that you check out these 2 videos right here. I think that'll be very useful for you, especially if you got your profile together. Then you might be interested in knowing about Instagram's new subscription fee. That will definitely help. If you are that girl, then you can get that much coin. But I'll see you in the next one. Bye.